The American dream, family, two-car garage, the white picket fence, that dream has never been further from reality than it is right now.
More than half of Americans say they would need at least $100,000 a year to be financially comfortable.
The benchmark of a six-figure salary used to be the gold standard income. It represented the tipping point of finally earning a disposable income and building a savings, spending based on your wants, not just your needs.
The American dream is what makes a middle-class lifestyle. You're able to pay your bills. You're able to put food on the table, put a roof over your family's head, and you have some additional savings.
Now, people making well over six figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. What used to symbolize financial freedom is now keeping people stressed about making ends meet.
26% say they would need more. A salary in the range of $100,000 to $149,000 per year would make them feel financially comfortable.
I think, unfortunately, what has happened is that wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, by and large, for the last 50 years or so. And so it becomes increasingly hard for many families to be able to attain that sort of middle-class lifestyle, that American dream.
Go Banking Rates analyzed how much a family of 2 adults and 2 children would need in each state to own a home, a car, and a pet, as well as have an additional 20% of their income for savings and 30% for discretionary spending.
The core of what the American dream means is some amount of economic security, that you feel like you can get by and do a bit better. Maybe do better than your parents, maybe be able to afford a house, certainly be able to save for your children's future.
All 50 states require more than a $100,000 annual income, with 38 states needing more than $140,000. The most affordable states, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Kentucky, need between $109,000 and $117,000. The median income for a household of 4 people in each of those states in 2022 was between $71,000 and $87,000.
My measure is really simple. I got a bunch of kids. Can they afford houses with full-time jobs at like 27, 28? And the answer is no way. And the answer is that 35-year-olds with really good jobs can't afford a house unless they stretch and go deep into debt. That's a complete disaster. Why? 2 reasons. One, if people don't own things, they don't feel ownership of the country they're in. And the country gets super volatile because people feel like they've got nothing to lose. When you have a lawn, trust me, you're thinking long term. Second, it's really hard to have a family without a house. People want a little house, not some McMansion, just a little normal house. That is the actual American dream. And that is what is totally unattainable for young people.
There's something very wrong with the housing market right now, and I'll use my family's real numbers as an example. So we bring in for our household over $150,000 a year, which I feel like is a lot of money for the average person. I mean, it is based on what the average family makes, okay? We live in Massachusetts. It's a high cost of living state. The average cost of a house right now is $640,000. The house would cost us $4,000 a month for our mortgage alone. That doesn't include utilities or maintenance. You call it $5,000 a month for total housing costs. That would be over 50% of our take-home pay on housing costs. We literally cannot afford to buy a house making $150,000 a year, and we are debt free. We have no debt. How is, what?
I'm fortunate enough to own my house. Well, own, define own. I'm going to be in debt for 30 years before it's mine. But I'm lucky enough to be residing in a home that I have a mortgage on. That is becoming less and less possible day by day for millions of people. Didn't they just say that in Kentucky, you need a minimum of $109,000 to live comfortably? In Kentucky, the American dream was something that was not a luxury. It was expected if you just took the right steps in life. Now that just seems unattainable. It's wild. Let's just see how many people make under $70K a year. 70%. 70% of people don't make $70,000 a year. What about all the people that are making $30,000 to $40,000 a year? Millions. Owning a house will probably never happen for them. It's becoming a luxury just to have a place to live, not own. You have 1-bedroom apartments going for $2,000 a month. 4 or 5 people living together just to afford the rent. This shit didn't used to be like this. My dad was a welder. We had a nice house, wasn't a mansion or anything, but we had a nice house. My mom didn't work, and we had enough. Now you have 2 people working, and they're struggling to pay rent on a 1-bedroom apartment. Something's not right. It should not be a new standard to have to work 2 or 3 jobs to live in an apartment building. But that's exactly what this country has become.
We got to cut the millennials and Gen Z some slack because this isn't ordinary. They are moving the goalposts so quickly on the middle class because of the housing. Even that slide you just brought up, someone making $77,000 cannot qualify for a $400,000 home. That's the first time that's ever happened in the past 50 years.
Being in survival mode is not a flex. Having two full-time jobs is not a flex. And as a mom, like, my time is so limited. Whenever I'm off, I'm with my kids, or I try to find a little me time. But for the most part, I'm at work. And like I said, I'm blessed to have a support system that's able to fill in the gaps and be present when I'm not, because somebody got to put food on the table. Somebody got to keep a roof over our heads, right? But being in survival mode, it's going to wear me down eventually. But I just pray that I get everything accomplished in a short period of time, and then maybe I can relax a little, step into my soft girl era, right? But right now, it's grind time.
People keep saying just get a job, as if I'm not already working. I am a working homeless mother. We are a working homeless family, living in a car in a desert. Truth is, I am a workaholic. I know how to bust ass. I've done it. That's how I've survived this long. But these jobs, these entry-level, underpaying, soul-splitting jobs, they break me.
One of the hardest parts about living in your car during the winter is how cold it gets. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to keep warm if you're homeless. Obviously, the first thing you can do is you can run your engine. Your car produces a lot of heat, but this isn't ideal because this uses gas. The next thing you...
All right, enough. Holy shit. Welcome to the new America. Welcome to the new America. Tips on how to not freeze to death in your car. This is just what we accept now. You have people working full-time and they're homeless. People just don't make enough for the American dream. It's over. Cost of living is through the roof. $200 used to get you a full cart. Now it doesn't. Doesn't get you a half a cart. People are struggling just to live and feed themselves. And here we have a longest government shutdown in history, and it's over health insurance. They can't agree on our health insurance, which is another huge problem. People aren't going to be able to pay for health insurance. Premiums are about to double, and people are already struggling with life as it is. They're not shutting down because 50% of the population can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment. They're shutting down on how much they're going to charge us for health insurance. If it was completely free, people are still screwed. You still can't buy a house. You still can barely afford to live. And they just have us all so busy that we're not even thinking about all of this. We don't have time to think about all this. We don't have time to keep up with what's going on. It's just get your ass up, go to work, hurry up, get to your next job, get home, shower, try to get 4 hours of sleep. Oh, my rent went up, my mortgage went up. Okay, I'll just have to get another job. Go work some more. People don't have time to think for themselves anymore. We're just in this canoe plugging up holes as they come, and the government's under the water just poking new holes in the canoe, and we're just rushing, plugging up the holes, without taking care of the problem. Why am I getting so many damn holes in my canoe? Why do I have to be void of time with my children, a vacation, a savings, a future, just to keep us afloat? It's never been harder to have that American dream, and it's going to only get harder. Now they're talking about 50-year mortgages. You're going to be in debt your entire life. Price of houses will explode. Maybe that's the plan. Just keep you renting the house your entire life. When you die, they take it back, sell it to the next dummy. So what is the end game here? Leave the country? Just shut up and go work 3 jobs? Should we petition to extend the amount of hours in a day from 24 to 34? That way we can work more per day, sleep less? What's the answer? They have us fighting over colors like some kindergarten children. I'm red, I'm blue, you're right, you're wrong. And yet here we are. Half the country can't afford a 1-bedroom apartment. The ones that can, they're giving all their income away just to stay housed. The people that own a house that signed up for a 30-year mortgage are getting screwed and their prices are doubling. Everyone's feeling it. And how much worse will it get? That's something we don't know. We can't see into the future. Let me know down in the comment section if you and your family are feeling this struggle and what you're doing to get by in this economy. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.